Live.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Rihanna. We are here at our weekly event, our Google Hangouts for Buzzfish After Dark. And this week we've got a special guest. His name is Rich, and he is with Ambler Digital. He is a video producer and in the world of cinematography. So if any of you have been on social media, you understand that videos are popping up every which way possible. So we're glad to have him on the show and kind of give us a little bit of insight on that world, that industry. We also, of course, have Josh Wendell of I Just Want a Site, so that's what I'm going to say.
Just for a very short period longer, we've like you probably understand, I'm so busy working on other people's stuff that I can't work on my own website.
I do.
Visionary is coming. It's almost there.
It's coming. It's coming.
I have put it off at least 2 more weeks because I'm getting some professional headshots done.
Oh, nice.
Everybody on the team in a couple weeks, we've scheduled an appointment with a professional photographer, and we're all gonna get headshots
and have that listed and do some bios and stuff.
That's right. Already have the bios done.
Okay.
Bios done. Everything. A lot of the content's already finished. We just need some photographs to kind of fill in some spaces and make it all look nice and finished. So Visionary is coming. Maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, and we'll have
it. All right. Until then, we just keep saying, I just want a site.
I just want a site until Visionary is official.
A fellow website developer, and so we're always glad to have him with us. So let's jump right in here tonight with Rich. Josh, why don't you go ahead and get started with the pressing questions that we want to bring out for Rich tonight.
Yeah, so first, I want to say I've known Rich for about 2 years now. We've been in a networking group together, and him and I have a tendency to gravitate towards one another because we're both in a more technical industry, and we both love Google Fiber.
There we go.
And we both agree that it would be really good for our businesses. Had to get that plug in there. I love it.
Oh my God.
And so we have a tendency to gravitate towards one another, and Rich is probably one of the most knowledgeable people I've ever met from a cinematography standpoint. He has years and years of experience. So I want him to share just a little bit about his background, and then we can kind of dive into some questions. So
Absolutely.
Rich, why don't you just tell us, give us a quick synopsis of your business and some of your highlights.
Okay. I started a company, and it was called Ambler Films 29 years ago. And in those days, we actually shot film. Do you remember what that was?
No, I don't remember.
Film, and
denial.
I produced a lot of TV commercials, shot TV commercials, corporate videos, pieces like that. I did a couple feature films where I direct, but I like to shoot at the same time a lot of times, but mostly it was a lot of TV commercials. And in the last few years, you've seen a lot of things change with the internet and on the internet, and with digital cameras coming, I've done a lot more web videos, meaning pieces for websites, pieces for YouTube, for clients, worked for a lot of ad agencies and then individual companies also. And that's really the thrust of my business. I've been doing this for 29 years.
Wow.
I've encountered a lot of changes in the marketplace and changes in cameras, and all that technology is changing every 3 or 4 months anyway.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. But the big thing I've noticed is it used to be that you couldn't go out and afford to buy a camera and start making these things on your own. But nowadays, anybody that has a few dollars can go buy a camera and start shooting and produce something and edit on their computer, and they can kind of do a whole turnkey project.
It's a whole new world, isn't it, now in this digital world that we live in?
The whole new world, the only thing I see is that there's a lot of people that they don't kind of study it or figure out how to do it in a better
Correctly. Right.
way. Start doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Rich, why don't you tell us what the difference between having a professional makes and some of the things that you know that a lot of other people may not. And I'm thinking, like script writing and just setting the shot up properly.
Oh, sure. Well, my background is I did go to film school, and as a result of that, I just came from a background of wanting to study the psychology of motion pictures, how they're put together so that an audience will be affected. And that's really what you're doing if you're making a movie or you're making a little web video. You want to affect the audience.
Right.
And there's actually a psychology to what image you're seeing on the screen.
So you have 30 seconds to grab them, and I would equate that the same way with us in web design.
Right.
We've got a maximum of about 7 seconds to grab them.
Yeah.
If we can't grab them in 7 seconds, they're
off.
They're gone. So you've got to capture an emotion in maybe a 30-second, 60-second clip.
And you're right about that 7-second thing, and I don't even look at it like I have 30 seconds for a TV commercial.
Right.
I have to grab somebody in 2 or 3 seconds, or
Right.
change channels.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's how it is on the internet too. When we're looking for something nowadays, I do that too.
Yeah.
If I
Right.
start viewing something and I kind of judge it immediately in 2 or 3 seconds, I might just move on.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn what's most effective. Are the things in the shot that are going to distract people and not point them right towards you, what you want them to see? Well, get those out of the shot. Make the lighting highlight the one thing. Make the focus point.
Right.
Highlight the one thing you want them to see. It's just studying color psychology and composition and what f-stop is going to work for your camera to highlight the effect you want and the subject you want.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is the kind of thing that makes a difference and makes it so that when you have that video out there, it's not just amateur hour, and it's not just the focus, the prime focus, and your end result is what you're after. So tell me, the difference between what it can cost you, and maybe tell me a story about somebody that, and you don't have to be specific, but somebody that maybe didn't use you that came back later and said, hey, I kind of wish I had. If you have a story like that.
Well, actually, I was meeting with a potential client today, and he used somebody else a few years ago. And I actually mentioned something to him years ago when I saw him on TV, and I said, you're real happy with that? And he kind of defended him. And the image that his commercials that were on television, I asked him about them. Somebody else did them. And then today we talked about it, and he says, they never were right, but I didn't understand why.
Mm.
And so I had a chance today to go through and explain to him how I approach it and what I look for. And I look at the wardrobe, I look at the makeup, I look at the lighting, I look at the depth of field of the shot, the patterns on people's dresses. Does that shirt, the pattern tend to jump? I mean, all this stuff. And he's just like, well, yeah, the people we were working with, they just wanted to get in and just get an image on video and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't work like that, but I'm geared myself to work a lot faster, but that's what you'll see. A client may not understand what they're getting at the time, but they may see the result over time that it's not producing for them.
Right.
Not the attention
Right. So the true cost of bad film, bad image on film, and obviously we don't use film anymore, but is lost customers. And so if you don't choose to go with a professional and somebody that just wants to get the image on the screen, you're really losing those potential customers.
Yeah, and I don't want to say people don't want to get anything else but just the image on the screen. They just haven't studied it. They don't understand what they're not putting on the screen.
Right.
And that's the effort I put into it. I have like 29 years experience doing this. Well, you can go buy a professional camera anytime.
Sure.
At a bargain discount place. And
right.
Not to be named, you can buy it, but that doesn't give you the experience of knowing what to look for and what to frame and how to light it and how to shoot it and how to edit it and what music. I mean, all those things work together or they work against you.
Yeah, and I'll even say, and Rihanna, you can probably speak to this too. When we're bidding against a company or usually it's an individual that doesn't necessarily do this as a full-time job. Well, we can't touch them on price because they don't have any overhead. They don't have they don't spend as much time usually on the work as we do, and so the end result is that you don't get as professional of a job done. Rihanna, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, like what Rich was saying, there are details involved that the average person does not know about in any particular profession or whatever. And so, you're called an expert because you can bring to the table certain things that should be considered. While somebody who may not be an expert, but somebody who could just dabble in it a little bit, may not be privy to certain details, especially when it comes to SEO and understanding how to set things up so that the page is going to grab a certain amount of attention. It's going to be so productive. It's more than just creating a landing site for someone to be able to go to and get information. So like you said, just all the intricate details that's involved. And then, people are kind of sorry that they wish they would have done it right the first time because it was lost time. And like you said, they don't know necessarily what they lost, what's not considered.
Hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
So, Rich, tell us what you think about digital and kind of where things are heading, and also tell us the type of projects you're wanting to work on right now.
Oh, super. I tend to believe that most of the messages that work to make sales or to pull people in or to get them to think a certain way are emotionally charged messages. And that's what I like to do. It's just kind of a thing I like. I like to figure out how to make the message emotional in one way or another. Make people laugh or make them cry or make them go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was going on. If you supercharge your message with emotion, then people are going to be hooked by that.
Yeah.
I think that's how we buy. We buy based on emotion. Lots of things. What was the rest of the question there?
What kind of projects are you looking for at this point? What are you trying to do? I
like to do little dramatic recreations.
Okay.
In fact, this week I've been talking to a couple different companies, and they're seeing that they want to have reenactments of how their product is used in real life and then show the benefit of it and the result of it and then the emotional effect of what their product brought to that customer using it. Those are kind of fun to me because you get to work with actors or real people, but to try to bring on that emotion and put it on screen. And that's fun for me because you can tell when it's fake.
Yeah.
Like I would think some of the Saturday morning commercials that come on and they're like, call 1-800, I'm amazed at how that worked. Wow, that was awesome.
Gosh. And the used car commercials, where they get out there and it's like, oh boy. I'm not excited about those. Now,
right.
And I'd like to just brag on you a little bit too because we were bidding a project where they did need some video produced, and the reel that Rich gave to me just absolutely positively floored the client. Like they were absolutely they thought that was the best thing that I sent over to them. So they were way on board with the producing videos and doing that after they saw that, and it was the reel had some stuff where hey, this is maybe not so great, but this is really good, and this is where the customer kind of let me do what I do best, which is is convey that emotion. And it was night and day on the reel, and I thought it was absolutely amazing, the difference that was made. And like you said, it was just a little bit of lighting and Rich, after our conversation about it, Rich talked about the fact that he just was able to make them feel really comfortable and set them in a place where they were comfortable. Mm-hmm. And they were used to being in this place, and so mm-hmm. because of that, it came across really, really well mm-hmm. in the video, and you can't get that with just slapping up a green screen somewhere and just shooting a quick testimonial. It's you have to take your time. It takes patience, and just Rich does a really good job at that. So
yeah.
I remember what you're referring to now. There were some testimonials, and one of the hardest things for any of us to do is to sit in front of a camera with lights on us and a microphone in our face, and then somebody points at it and he says, "Do your lines," or "Say it," or "What do you think?" Or it's like, that's really uncomfortable. So it's really a challenge for me to get performances out of people.
Yeah.
Those inhuman situations.
Right.
That's fun. Right. That's all fun.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your, you're wanting to get more into dramatic recreations, but what would you say in the past has been your favorite kinds of things to do in the world of cinematography and video, whether it's commercials or whatever?
Okay. Well, I've done a lot of commercials. I've done a fair amount of testimonial commercials, and those are pretty challenging and pretty fun to make a normal human, a non-actor, in other words, not a model.
Sure.
Light them and make them look real good, get the makeup just right, make them look really, really appealing to look at, and then get them to just talk to me, and it's like you're having a conversation with them, and that's really fun. I like doing those.
Yeah. Does it make you feel like Barbara Wawa?
Oh, no, not at all. I've done a couple feature films, and those are a lot of fun. Just a constant day after day of making
a lot of work.
Come up with real human experiences, real human performances, and so those are a lot of fun. That's what I'm pursuing. More things like that have real human experiences up there that I can put up on the screen. And along with that, as much fun as that is, it's in the editing, and it's in the music and the sound effects and the audio and getting the sound just right. The first thing you can judge something by, if it's done well or not, is by the audio.
Absolutely. If
the audio is bad, the people usually didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
And I'm on the board of the film festival. We watched over 16 years, we watched 1,000 films at least, and you can tell right away if the audio is bad, the whole film's going to be bad. So some of those little details that really add to the effectiveness, and that's what I have fun with. I really do have fun with that, making sure all those details are taken care of.
Yeah. So, Rich, if people are looking for you, where can they find you?
Well, I currently have a website called amblerfilms.com. AMBLERFILMS.com, and I don't have the website up yet for Ambler Digital, but that's the new company, Ambler Digital. So the website is a good place to reach me. You can always email me. rich@amblerfilms.com is fine. And I love to talk to people about their projects. I can't really do projects for free.
That's good. That's a good disclaimer. Get that on out there. So
I will tell you. I've been approached by tons of people who say, "Hey, I've got this idea for film. It'd be great. Do you have any money?"
Right.
Because I just don't do them all.
Have you done anything like for not like charitable organizations, or not even necessarily for free, or not just anything dealing with 501c3s or charitable organizations, fundraisers, anything like that?
I haven't done a lot of those, but I'm totally open to doing something for a charitable organization. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I've not been a big documentary filmmaker. I just haven't gotten into that too much. I like
Mhm.
documentaries. I think they're really cool, and I watch them
Yeah.
on TV, but I haven't
And
moved a lot. But I,
I'm
I
a,
like GoPro most for, yes, what?
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna brag on you one more time. You're the one that did the Price Chopper commercial with the basketball going in the Sprint arena,
Yes.
right?
An
Oh.
arena into a basketball goal, and we shot baskets into an arena. Yes.
That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
That's it. So if you live in Kansas City, you know exactly what we're talking about because it plays like nonstop in March. So
It did.
Yes, most definitely.
It used to. Now, see, that was fun because of the technology involved.
Mhm.
I shot all the back all over the city with a little DSLR camera,
Mm,
and then I shot the mascots of the three schools, KU, MU, and K-State, on the
right.
big screen, and then put them together. And then I worked with an animation company to have the basketballs go into Sprint Arena. And
yeah,
all that technology, that was just a blast.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
To see that stuff come together like that. That's the thing, people like me, I don't have any clue of how that stuff happens. You know, it boggles the mind, the kind of technology that is out today to do those kinds of things. It's not like you just do a push of the button and you make, what's in your head happen on screen. So,
It's a lot of fun. It's pretty tricky. I learned a lot from watching the extras and the commentaries on DVDs myself. It's like
oh,
taking,
really?
on some of them, it's like taking a college course. Oh, yeah.
Really? See,
Some
I
of them.
never even think of going through those. I just want to watch the stuff.
Watch the movie. I know.
Just watch the movie, yeah. Josh, do you have any more questions for Rich?
Yeah, one more question before you go. So when somebody wants a film done and they want to, let's say they want three 30-second commercials put together, and whether they be for YouTube or a minute and a half of content put together. What do you say the budget really needs to be to do it the correct way?
Well, there's not just one pat answer that we have to sit
Sure.
down and talk about what their goal is, what they want to come out of it, and then we talk about different concepts we could use with their project, and then I come back with some creative ideas for them and give them a kind of a budget range.
Okay.
These kind of things shot one day in a studio, they could be this budget range, and these three ideas shot all over town and interiors and exteriors and all over the place, that could be this kind of a budget. I give people choices,
Right.
budget ranges, and some people just don't have a lot of money, so I give them a choice so they can get something done even
Right.
on a low budget.
Sure.
Right.
If they,
Right.
if they really want to shine and can spend a little more, then I'll give them that choice too.
Okay.
Rich, I love that answer.
I do too.
Oh,
I
That's
think
how we.
that's how I know I'm dealing with a professional. They don't sit there and come up with a number just to give an answer. So I love that.
$120,000.
All right. Well, Rich, thanks for being with us tonight. Rihanna, do you want
Yeah.
to say anything as we wrap up?
Yeah. Hey, you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Rich, that was very enlightening. Thank you for joining us. And again, if you want to get a hold of Rich, you can go to amblerfilms.com. And again, your email address is
rich@amblerfilms.com.
rich@amblerfilms.com. If you want to get a hold of Josh for any reason, you can go to what is it, IJWAS?
You
Josh
got it.
Yes. Josh
At
at
IJWAS.
IJWAS. And then buzzfishmedia.com for myself, or R. Sanford at Buzzfish Media, or Michael at Buzzfish Media to get a hold of any of us there. So again, thanks for joining us, and till next time, everybody. Rich, did you have something?
I just want to say thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
You're so welcome. Hopefully, maybe you can join us again sometime, but I want to definitely keep your information so we have good people to I know, Josh, you do websites, and a lot of times, sometimes people do want videos and videos done, and they'll ask us, do we have a good person to refer? And up until now, we've always said no. So we don't have a good person to refer. So
well, now you do.
Yeah, now we officially do. So that's good to know. So until next time, everybody, thank you for joining us, and good night.
Everybody wave.
Good night. Mwah.